This presentation is going to describe what educational field trips and educational simulations are, their purpose, and how they are used in the classrooms. So, what are electronic field trips? Electronic field trips are a means of internet field trips. This is exactly what it describes. Instead of going on a traditional field trip, students sit in the classroom and take a field trip via a web source. Due to today's increase in technology, students can conduct an electronic field trip alone, in small groups, or as a whole class. Students can use individual computers, or the teacher can project it on the smartboard. It is also a means of exploration. By the click of a button, a student can go to any museum, city, or country. Or they can even explore the nature of the human body and solar system with one simple click. Virtual reality is another term we can use to describe electronic field trips and simulations. What is so unique about electronic field trips? They can enhance learning by having students follow along during the field trip by giving them a worksheet to fill out. There are also opportunities for students to ask questions to the person or system that is giving the online field trip. It also gives the opportunity to engage with individuals all over the world. Instead of having to travel to China to learn about their culture, we can connect with someone from China via a webcam, and they can share their stories with us face to face without us having to spend lots of money. That brings us to discuss that these electronic field trips allow us to save time and money. We can go on a virtual reality adventure by going to Cedar Point electronically, then realistically. This not only saves time and money, but is an awesome experience. Weather will never be a problem. If we were planning to take a trip to the zoo, but there was a huge storm approaching, we will not have to worry because through online field trips we can gain knowledge and experience sitting in our house, a classroom, or a local coffee shop. We do not want weather to come between a fun, engaging educational experience. However, there is one issue we need to discuss. During these field trips, we can encounter streaming problems. That is where the connection between us and the other attendee is poor, so the quality of the visuals are blurry and slowed down. One way to limit this issue would be to do a test run so we can make sure the connection is strong, and if not, try it in an area where the connection will improve. So earlier I discussed that we will be hearing the word virtual a lot. So what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is a computer-generated simulation that allows us to make us feel as if we are in an environment without physically being there. It's cool because it can simply be used by a phone. There are a variety of virtual reality headsets based on the design of the phone and the quality of the virtual reality simulation. So if you want a higher quality model, you end up spending a little bit more money. We can go into a virtual reality setting and travel through the jungle. This can be counted as an electronic field trip because we cannot physically travel there, or if we can, we are too afraid to come in contact with lions. But with virtual reality, we can make that happen. We can use it as an educational simulation by exploring the inside of the heart and locating the atriums and ventricles. Before we take our journey to the online world, you can see here in this picture a group of students are taking a field trip while they are sitting at their desks. All the points we previously covered are shown here. The presenter has artifacts to ask students questions. All students are engaged with her. Weather was not a factor, and it saved everyone a lot of time and money due to not having to travel or get permission slips. So now we will take a journey through the world of electronic field trips. Are you curious about the ocean but are too afraid to dive in? Well, thanks to electronic field trips, we can do this. So here we can see that these scuba divers are going through this amazing coral atmosphere. And through virtual reality and electronic field trips, we can feel as if we are in the ocean without actually being there. But have you ever wanted to visit maybe the Smithsonian Museum, but cannot travel there to explore its amazing wonders? Well, that's okay, because now we can explore it ourselves through online educational field trips. So we can feel as if we are in the Smithsonian Museum without actually being there. So I am a science guru because I will be a future 7th through 12th grade teacher. So these next electronic field trips have several science and engineering virtual field trips. So this one is great because it has a variety of opportunities to explore different content areas within the science realm. So we can talk about science behind sports, we can talk about the science within technology, we can talk about science within weather. This is a great source for students of all ages. And then lastly, for our exploration with educational field trips, I wanted to take a look at this website. I really like this website because it breaks up different field experiences depending on the grade level. So we have a lot of opportunities for students of all ages and learning levels to learn through these educational field trips. So now we've talked about electronic field trips, but now we're going to talk about educational simulations. So what are they? Educational simulations give students the opportunity to immerse themselves in learning by performing hands-on activities. What is so unique about these educational simulations? Well, students can work at different skill levels and paces. This can be done by manipulating various variables within a simulation to make it more complex or simpler. This allows for great differentiation among students. Educational simulations can also act as a game to prepare students for a test. They can act as an actual test where educators ask students to show them how to do something, or as an activity to emphasize key points within a lesson. Through these simulations, students develop greater critical thinking skills, because they have to apply what they know on paper to real-life experiences. In this picture, you can see how simulations extend outside of the classroom. Here's a group of military members learning how to navigate through certain areas while having to respond to duties through a headset. This gets them familiar with the tasks through a virtual simulation before they have to conduct these tasks in a life or death situation. So now we are going to take a journey through the world of education simulations. First, we will look at a skeletal simulation. Then we will go through the PhET simulation. And lastly, the STAR simulation. So first, if we want to look at a mouse lemur, this educational simulation allows us to immerse ourselves with the body of a mouse lemur and the different components that it makes up. So with the vertebrae, we have the different types, and we can look at it by different views. In the PhET simulation, we will explore how balloons and static electricity relate to one another. This is great not only for students but for teachers as well. It has a section right here where numerous teachers from all over the world uploaded their lesson and what they did in order to teach about static electricity. And lastly, the online planetarium. If we wanted to see what the stars look like in Cleveland, Ohio, we could go right here. And here it will show us in the night sky what we could be looking at if the appropriate lighting is given. So, the purpose of these online field trips and simulations is to keep students engaged while still learning the necessary material to succeed academically. Students learn more efficiently by hands-on activities because they are seeing the cause and effect of something they are doing. These hands-on activities show the relationship between education and real-life applications. Most importantly, students have a wide variety of opportunities. By having these opportunities, students are able to explore at a pace that we, as younger students, could not. These opportunities can open bigger doors for our students by allowing them to gain an interest in a matter that would not have been possible without these online activities. Electronic field trips and educational simulations are not only the future of our education, but they are the future of our students.